Hi, everyone. Welcome to Running Real Estate with Ellen. And I love answering your questions. So we're going to get to that in a second, but be sure as you're going along here, drop your questions down below. If you want to tap into my knowledge of growing up in the construction industry, being a licensed Florida real estate agent with Realty ONE Group Skyline in Sarasota. I love doing that. Why? Because my parents never bought the condo they rented for decades on Siesta Key. So I just love sharing enough information so that hopefully you won't make that mistake if you are possibly considering moving here. All right. Well, today's question is, why are so many people moving to Florida with all the insanity, with all the craziness, with all the political stuff? We're just not even going to go down that rabbit hole. Yes, there are a lot of reasons, as there are anywhere on this planet, not to live in certain places. But let's be positive. Let's talk about the reasons that most people end up moving here. Now, I would say weather and the climate, and we'll get to that in a second. But the number one reason I've found with my customers wanting to move here, taxes, not any state taxes. So I've had entire CEOs pull the plug on their company, moving it from the state of Washington to Florida, just so they could do the legal tax dodging thing. So that is reason number one. And, okay, we're going to put climate right up there, because if you're like me and you had to work in Des Moines as a young cub reporter and go out in the 70 below wind chill factors in shoes that just never protected against that kind of bitter cold and shoot other people's cars getting stuck, or maybe you had to skate on your butt down to the mailbox in St. Louis on the driveway just to try and get your mail. And unfortunately, a friend of mine actually broke her elbow doing such a thing in St. Louis. So when you have these kinds of experiences backlogged in your brain, having 2 days notice to run away from a hurricane doesn't seem like such a bad thing. And the media would have you believe, and of course, I used to be in the media. They're the Emmys there. It's our job to scare you. So you will keep watching, because everybody wants to know that their community is safe and sound before they shut their eyes at night. At least that's what the news directors would tell us. So the media would have you believing that hurricane is just trotting right up your driveway. And in fact, it could. And it often does go to somebody's driveway, but more often than not yours. And so then you could be like a snowbird, and like my parents were, and they would just trot up to their hometown in the lovely summer months, although there was really nothing lovely about St. Louis in the summer. In fact, I always say this, many people who are from St. Louis or that part of the country would prefer a Florida summer over a Midwest summer any day of the year. The temperature generally doesn't get above 92, 93, maybe 94 here. There's always a sea breeze. And when we say sea, we don't mean the Great Pacific Ocean Sea. We mean either the Atlantic Ocean. It actually can collide with the Gulf of Mexico breezes that are coming in the summertime. You often see this collision in the form of afternoon showers. Not a big deal. It keeps everything very green, which is another reason people live here. And related to the climate thing is many people who have the experience of living here in Florida and then going back north, maybe in the wintertime or maybe other times, just the observation is like people seem to have more frowns on their faces and just seem to be crankier. And there is evidence to suggest that sunshine not only helps our body to produce vitamin D, but it just helps us to produce more endorphins and good feeling, happy hormones. So there is that. People are just happier there. I used to travel with this musical group called Up With People, and this was before we had computers or anything. And the cast directors were very clear, saying, if there's somebody in our audience, and we as cast members would interview prospective other cast members who came to our show, they'd say, if there's anybody from California or Florida, we want to talk to them, because they knew that they would just be more energetic, energized, happy, up with people. Great group, actually, though. I must say, I really did enjoy traveling the world with them and learning a whole lot at the ripe age of 18. All right. Why else are people moving here? Well, retirees can enjoy a relaxed lifestyle. Now, you may not think it's so relaxed as you drive down I-75 and other streets where people are like just driving like crazy. I mean, is this happening elsewhere? Is it just because there's so many problems in the world? I don't know. I've seen some really weird traffic waving patterns where somebody was just an accident waiting to happen. And often you see that, sadly. Um, but generally speaking, if you stay put, if you play pickleball in your own backyard, and pickleball is just a rising thing in popularity here, as it is everywhere, but they are actually converting tennis courts in some places to pickleball courts. It's just a very relaxed lifestyle. There are different websites like Meetup, or there are even social directors at condominiums or apartment rental complexes who organize things for seniors. And how cool is that? So it's just very chill. And when you go to the beach, I was actually with somebody recently who said lived here 40 years or more and said he had never been to Siesta Key. It's like, I mean, like floating in the water for a couple of hours. And, that's what my parents brought us to Florida to do. And we would bake in the sun from 9 in the morning till 5 at night. Not necessarily a good thing. And some of us are paying the price for that, but still, that is what Florida was and still is known for. All right, so there is also an attractive job market and business market. Not only when you have people coming here, you need the services to support them. And some would argue, we don't have enough affordable housing for the service industry. That's a whole nother video. But the business climate, even with everything going on, is still growing, and people are looking for opportunities to work here. And of course, being remote, you can work anywhere, so that isn't even an issue. And then you might be surprised on this one, the lower cost of living compared to other states. Why? Because you only have to have summer clothes. You don't really have to pay for heating in the winter, which can be just a huge chunk. Those are the two main things. And, you can eat very cheaply, as my first book, Eat Vegan on $4 a Day, points out. You can absolutely do that. And living in a pretty temperate climate here, that's not, I mean, yes, you have to have the air conditioning on a good maybe 6 months of the year, maybe more. But the time, like where are we now? It is May, beginning of May. So lots of reasons to move here. And all I can say is, if you have questions, drop them down below. Happy to answer them. And if you find value in this, please like and subscribe and smash that notification button so you will be alerted the next time I have one of these videos up and running. And until the next one, I gotta run.